Stand up right now if you're able to do so. Go ahead and give it a try. Just take a short moment to really focus on what's happening inside your body, even though you were seated just a second ago. Your heart maintains its steady, dependable rhythm without any conscious direction from you. Your blood keeps circulating smoothly through your veins and arteries, quietly performing all their essential functions completely on autopilot. Yet there is something profoundly important that the vast majority of people never pause to consider. After the age of 55, your arteries are no longer as robust, elastic, or supple as they were during your younger years. Far too many individuals cling to the mistaken notion that clogged arteries appear suddenly and without warning. One perfectly ordinary day you feel completely fine, and then, out of nowhere, a heart attack or stroke strikes with no prior indication. But the reality is entirely different. Clogged arteries do not form overnight. They develop extremely gradually, silently, and over the course of many decades. There are no loud warning signals, no sudden stabbing pains to catch your attention, no unmistakable red flags screaming that danger is near, until one day a serious crisis erupts. It might manifest as a heart attack, it might be a stroke, or your physician might look at your latest test results and quietly say, "I really wish we had detected this much sooner." I'm Dr. Michael Kent, and over many years I have devoted my professional efforts to helping older adults, just like you, preserve strong, vibrant hearts using gentle, natural methods that minimize heavy reliance on powerful prescription medications or invasive surgical procedures. Now imagine this. What if I told you that a single, remarkably uncomplicated meal, not an expensive supplement, not a surgical intervention, has been clearly demonstrated by robust scientific research to begin helping your body defend and nurture your arteries, starting with your very next bite? Importantly, this is not about enforcing a rigid, joyless diet that eliminates all the foods you love. It remains budget-friendly, straightforward to implement, and you absolutely do not need to abandon the dishes that bring you pleasure and satisfaction. I kindly ask you to stay with me through this entire message. By the time we finish, you will have a clear understanding of exactly what to include in your meals, the precise scientific mechanisms behind why these choices deliver such strong protective effects for your cardiovascular system, and crucially, how to put them into practice in a safe and sustainable way, particularly if you are over the age of 60. Before we go any further, let me address and correct one very common misconception that misleads so many well-intentioned people. When the average person hears the phrase clogged arteries, their mind usually jumps to an image of household plumbing pipes completely obstructed with thick grease and accumulated debris. While that analogy captures part of the problem, it only tells a fraction of the full story. The true origin of the trouble lies in chronic inflammation occurring within the walls of the arteries themselves. This low-level, persistent inflammation slowly erodes and injures the sensitive inner lining of your arteries across many years. Once that vital lining, known as the endothelium, becomes damaged or chronically irritated, cholesterol particles begin to adhere to those compromised areas. Over the passing decades, calcium gradually deposits on top of the cholesterol buildup, and slowly the arteries become increasingly rigid, constricted, and less capable of allowing unrestricted blood flow. Medical professionals refer to this entire gradual progression as atherosclerosis. Because it advances so stealthily over such a long period, countless individuals continue feeling entirely normal until the damage has reached an advanced and often critical stage. Here is the single most vital takeaway I want you to carry with you today. Your body actually possesses a built-in natural ability to resist and counteract this accumulating damage. You truly can slow its progression to a very significant degree. In certain cases, it is even possible to help reverse some of the existing harm, but this only becomes realistic when you deliberately stop feeding the very inflammation that fuels the entire process in the first place. And that brings us directly to the one simple, highly effective meal I mentioned earlier. Before we move forward, I would genuinely appreciate it if you would take just a second right now to drop a quick comment below with only your age. It truly encourages me to see who is joining in and actively pursuing improved heart health at this moment. Let me guide you step by step through the actual physiological changes occurring inside your body, shifts that surprisingly few people ever discuss in plain, straightforward language. As you enter your 60s, 70s, and even later decades, four primary changes take place that have a direct and profound impact on the condition and performance of your arteries. The first is the ongoing presence of chronic inflammation within the artery walls. Imagine your arteries as an ordinary garden hose used for watering plants. When the interior remains perfectly smooth and free of debris, water, or in this case, blood, flows through with minimal resistance and great efficiency. Persistent inflammation, however, roughens and irritates that inner surface, much like moss, algae, or gradual buildup coating the hose interior and creating drag and turbulence that hampers smooth flow. In medical terminology, this critical inner surface is called the endothelium. When inflammation compromises it, cholesterol molecules and calcium deposits find it much easier to latch on and accumulate, eventually forming plaque. A major, well-regarded study from Harvard University followed over 5,000 adults for a full 15-year period. The results were unmistakable. Higher levels of inflammation markers proved to be a more reliable predictor of future plaque formation and expansion than elevated cholesterol readings by themselves. I understand that this might come as a surprise or even raise some questions. For years, most of us have been told to follow low-fat diets, start taking statin medications, or completely avoid red meat. Those approaches do have their appropriate place in certain situations, but they frequently fail to address the genuine primary driver, inflammation, at its root. Let me expand further on this inflammation aspect because it is so crucial and so often overlooked. Chronic inflammation is not like the sudden swelling you experience from a cut or injury. It is a slow burning process that simmers quietly in the background. It can be triggered by various factors, including poor dietary choices, chronic stress, lack of physical activity, and even environmental toxins. Over time, this inflammation signals the body to dispatch more cholesterol to the affected site as part of a misguided repair mechanism, but instead of helping, it contributes to dangerous buildup. That is precisely why focusing solely on cholesterol reduction without tackling inflammation is like treating the symptoms while ignoring the underlying disease. Many patients I have worked with arrive confused, wondering why their cholesterol-lowering medications are not preventing further progression. The answer lies in this deeper layer of understanding. To illustrate, consider how everyday choices accumulate. A diet heavy in processed foods may not cause immediate discomfort, but it steadily fans the flames of inflammation, leading to long-term vascular damage. By shifting toward anti-inflammatory foods, we can effectively douse those flames. This shift does not have to be drastic. Even modest adjustments, such as replacing processed snacks with fresh fruit, can begin producing a noticeable difference over time. It is about consistency rather than perfection, allowing your body to heal gradually from the inside out. To make this even clearer, think about inflammation as a quiet fire smoldering in your arteries. Every poor meal choice adds a little more fuel to that fire, while healthy choices help put it out. Over the years, I've seen patients transform their health by making these small, steady changes. They report feeling more energetic, sleeping better, and even noticing improvements in their blood work. It's empowering to know that you have control over this process through simple daily decisions. Remember, inflammation doesn't announce itself loudly, it builds silently, but so does the healing when you start addressing it properly. The second key change involves oxidative stress, coupled with the serious threat posed by unstable plaque. This deserves special attention because plaque is far from uniform. Certain plaques are soft, vulnerable, and highly unstable. Picture a thin layer of ice frozen over a winter pond. From a distance, it appears solid and safe, yet the slightest additional weight or pressure can cause it to fracture and collapse abruptly. Unstable plaque behaves in much the same way. It can suddenly rupture without any prior notice, triggering a heart attack or stroke in an instant. Oxidative stress, which is essentially damage at the cellular level caused by reactive free radical molecules, weakens the protective fibrous cap that covers plaque buildup, dramatically increasing the likelihood of rupture. A study conducted by researchers at Johns Hopkins University tracked roughly 2,400 older individuals and uncovered a compelling finding. Those who maintained higher levels of protective antioxidants in their bodies experienced a striking 52% lower risk of plaque rupture. Expanding on oxidative stress, it's like rust forming on metal over time due to exposure to air and moisture. In your body, free radicals are the culprits, and they come from things like pollution, smoking, or even normal metabolism. But your body has natural defenses, antioxidants, that neutralize these threats. Foods rich in vitamins C and E, like berries, nuts, and greens, boost these defenses. In my practice, patients who increase their antioxidant intake often see better overall vitality, not just in heart health, but in skin appearance and immune function too. It's a holistic benefit that comes from nature's own pharmacy. The third significant shift is the natural, age-related decline in nitric oxide production. Nitric oxide is an essential signaling molecule that instructs blood vessels to relax and widen, thereby promoting optimal blood flow and reducing strain on the heart. You can think of it as a natural lubricant applied to a rusty, stiff hinge. It allows everything to move smoothly and without friction. As we grow older, our bodies produce progressively less nitric oxide, which leads to increasingly rigid arteries and often contributes to rising blood pressure. Research conducted at the University of Barcelona demonstrated that individuals who adopted a Mediterranean-style dietary pattern for as little as 4 weeks experienced a notable 30% increase in nitric oxide levels, resulting in measurably more pliable and healthier arteries. Nitric oxide is fascinating because it is produced directly by the endothelium itself, and its gradual decline is one of the primary reasons arteries stiffen with age. Foods rich in dietary nitrates, such as beets, leafy greens like spinach and arugula, and certain other vegetables, can naturally boost nitric oxide production. In my clinical experience, patients who consistently incorporate these foods often see meaningful reductions in blood pressure, sometimes decreasing their reliance on medications. It is a gentle, food-based way to support the body's own mechanisms, and the best part is that it relies on everyday, accessible ingredients rather than exotic or costly items. Beets can be roasted, juiced, or added to salads, while greens work beautifully in smoothies, soups, or simple side dishes. These small additions compound over time, leading to measurable improvements in vascular health with relatively little effort. Moreover, combining these dietary choices with light physical activity, such as regular walking, can amplify the effects, since exercise also stimulates nitric oxide release, creating a powerful synergistic benefit for circulation and overall heart function. To add more detail, nitric oxide also helps prevent blood clots by keeping platelets from sticking together too much. This is why it's so vital for preventing sudden events like strokes. Simple habits like eating a salad with arugula daily can make a real difference. Patients tell me they feel more relaxed and have better endurance during activities. It's amazing how something as basic as food can influence such complex body processes. The fourth major factor centers on repeated blood sugar spikes and the gradual development of insulin resistance. Too many older adults underestimate just how dramatically their blood glucose can surge following certain meals. Envision the delicate inner lining of your arteries as the fine, intricate fibers of an expensive carpet. Every significant blood sugar spike is comparable to accidentally spilling sticky soda across those fibers. Small, cumulative injuries build up quietly and persistently over time. These frequent elevations trigger increased insulin release, which then amplifies inflammation and inflicts further damage on the endothelium. If you have ever noticed tingling or numbness in your feet, unusual tiredness or sluggishness after eating, or a gradual upward trend in your blood pressure readings, feel free to type the word artery in the comments section right now. Blood sugar management becomes especially critical as metabolism naturally slows with age. Refined carbohydrates cause rapid spikes, which over time promote insulin resistance, a state in which cells become less responsive to insulin, allowing sugar to remain elevated in the blood longer and causing more endothelial damage. This creates a vicious cycle that feeds into chronic inflammation and oxidative stress. Breaking that cycle with whole, unprocessed foods helps stabilize everything. Many of my patients discover that after achieving more stable blood sugar, they experience better sleep, steadier moods, and even effortless weight management. Clear evidence of how holistic heart health truly is. Incorporating fiber-rich foods is particularly effective because fiber slows the absorption of sugar, preventing those sharp spikes. Simple swaps like oats, beans, lentils, and whole grains can make a substantial difference in daily energy levels and long-term artery protection. Paying attention to portion sizes and pairing carbohydrates with proteins or healthy fats further moderates blood sugar responses, resulting in more balanced meals that actively support your cardiovascular system over the long term. Furthermore, insulin resistance can lead to weight gain around the midsection, which adds more stress to the heart. By focusing on low glycemic foods, you can avoid this trap. Things like berries instead of candy, or nuts as snacks, keep things steady. Over months, this leads to less fatigue and more vitality, as your body isn't constantly dealing with sugar roller coasters. Focusing exclusively on cholesterol is like repairing one tire on a car while completely ignoring the engine. It might provide some temporary benefit, but the real problems continue to worsen. Comprehensive strategies that address root causes deliver superior long-term outcomes. Research consistently shows that well-designed lifestyle changes can sometimes outperform medications in certain individuals, often with fewer side effects. Integrating regular movement, stress reduction techniques, and consistent dietary improvements creates a full-spectrum approach to heart wellness that feels sustainable and empowering rather than restrictive. Simple daily habits such as short walks or mindfulness practices can complement dietary shifts, enhancing your body's natural resilience against age-related changes and giving you a greater sense of control over your health. Next, incorporate powerful natural flavor boosters into your meals. Garlic, turmeric, ideally paired with a pinch of black pepper to enhance absorption, fresh lemon juice, oregano, and rosemary. Garlic is well supported by research for its ability to modestly reduce blood pressure and decrease arterial stiffness. Turmeric works by inhibiting key inflammatory pathways in the body. Simply including 1 or 2 crushed garlic cloves per day has been shown in studies to reduce C-reactive protein, CRP levels, a key marker of inflammation, by 20 to 30% in older adults within a 12-week period. These ingredients do far more than dramatically improve flavor. They provide active, measurable cardiovascular defense. Experiment with them in soups, marinades, roasted vegetables, or even herbal teas to keep your meals interesting and varied. These spices are affordable and easy to find. Turmeric in curries, garlic in pasta sauces, oregano on pizzas. The possibilities are endless. They turn bland meals into exciting ones while boosting health. In my experience, patients love how these add zest without calories. Make it a daily habit to fill the majority of your plate with colorful, non-starchy vegetables such as spinach, arugula, broccoli, red bell peppers, tomatoes, and onions. The dietary fiber in these foods helps bind and remove excess cholesterol from the body, stabilizes blood sugar responses, and actively combats inflammation. Their abundant supply of polyphenols powerfully counters oxidative stress. Harvard researchers followed approximately 3,000 adults over a 10-year period and determined that those consuming 5 or more servings of vegetables daily exhibited 42% less arterial stiffness. Aim for 3 to 5 cups of these vegetables each day, prepared raw in salads, lightly steamed, or roasted to preserve their nutrient content. Vegetables provide satisfying volume with very few calories, supporting healthy weight management. The fiber they contain nourishes beneficial gut bacteria, which in turn influence inflammation levels throughout the entire body. The vibrant colors signal different beneficial nutrients, lycopene in red tomatoes, chlorophyll and other compounds in green leafy vegetables, so mixing a variety ensures broad-spectrum protection. Start with large salads, colorful stir-fries, or hearty vegetable soups. They are affordable, filling, and easy to prepare. Choosing seasonal produce keeps things fresh and interesting while maximizing nutrient density throughout the year. Adding the herbs and spices mentioned earlier elevates these simple vegetables into flavorful, crave-worthy dishes you genuinely look forward to eating. Moreover, veggies are versatile. Roast them with olive oil, blend into smoothies, or stuff into wraps. They fill you up, curb cravings, and provide vitamins that support energy. Over time, this habit leads to glowing skin and better digestion too. Finally, include fatty fish such as salmon, sardines, mackerel, or anchovies at least twice per week. These provide valuable omega-3 fatty acids that strongly reduce inflammation, enhance nitric oxide production and availability, and help prevent excessive platelet clumping that can lead to clots. Research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition reported that regular omega-3 consumption resulted in an impressive 38% improvement in arterial flexibility after only 12 weeks. If fresh fish is not to your taste or is difficult to obtain, a high-quality fish oil supplement can serve as a reasonable alternative, but please consult your doctor first, especially if you are taking any blood-thinning medications. If you have kidney problems or follow a potassium-restricted diet, check with your healthcare provider before significantly increasing your intake of leafy greens. Omega-3 fatty acids like EPA and DHA compete with pro-inflammatory omega-6 fats, naturally thin the blood to reduce clot risk and support overall vascular health. You can grill, bake, or enjoy them canned for convenience. Whole food sources generally provide superior benefits compared to supplements alone because they deliver additional nutrients. Always prioritize safety by discussing changes with your physician, particularly if you take medications that could interact. Simple recipes such as baked salmon with fresh herbs, sardine salads, or mackerel patties make incorporation seamless and delicious. Pairing fatty fish with the vegetables and olive oil from the protocol maximizes benefits, creating nutritionally balanced meals that support multiple aspects of heart health simultaneously. Begin these adjustments slowly and gradually. Give your body adequate time to adapt comfortably, then progressively increase variety and portion sizes. Your health and safety are always the top priority. Think of the heart protocol as helpful complementary support that works alongside, not in place of, your existing medical care and any prescribed treatments. Here is my personal challenge to you right now. Choose just one single component from the heart protocol, perhaps committing to eating 2 servings of fatty fish each week, or simply starting to top your vegetables with a generous drizzle of extra virgin olive oil every day, and follow through with that one change consistently for the next 30 days. Afterward, come back to this message and share your personal experience in the comments. Did you notice increased energy? Any positive shifts in blood pressure or overall sense of well-being? Your real-life story has the potential to inspire and uplift thousands of other older adults who are reading and watching along with you. Starting small builds powerful momentum. Consider keeping a simple journal to track changes. Note improvements in energy, sleep quality, or even fewer doctor visits related to heart concerns. Sharing your progress creates motivation. I have seen supportive communities form around these kinds of challenges, where people encourage one another and exchange practical tips. This kind of interaction fosters accountability and turns individual efforts into collective success. Connecting with others provides fresh ideas, emotional support, and makes the journey feel less solitary and far more rewarding. If today's information has been helpful, eye-opening, or motivating for you, please take a quick moment to subscribe so you won't miss what comes next. In the upcoming message, we will explore a single, surprisingly common nutrient deficiency that affects most seniors and quietly undermines heart health in ways that are rarely discussed. And I promise at least one detail will genuinely surprise you. Staying subscribed ensures you receive timely, evidence-based updates as new research emerges. Topics like vitamin D, magnesium, or other key nutrients often connect directly to symptoms such as fatigue, irregular heartbeats, or persistent low energy. Being connected keeps you proactive and empowered in managing your wellness journey. Finally, if you have stayed with me from the very first line all the way to this closing paragraph, please type "Heartstrong" in the comments below. Together, we can build a warm, supportive, and empowering community of older adults who are proactively taking charge of their heart and vascular future. I'm Doctor, and I truly look forward to connecting with you again very soon. Take excellent care of yourself and make that first small, meaningful step today.